Please, Chinedu, forgive us. We are deeply sorry. Please, Chinedu.
You threw me out when I needed you people most. Now you want my help.
They threw him away like he was nothing, but years later, he returned as the man they never imagined. It was raining heavily the night when Chinedu was abandoned, and thunder roared across the sky. As a small boy, no more than 8 years old, stood barefoot by the roadside, crying. His words were, "Mama, please don't leave me," he screamed. But the car didn't stop. Inside the car sat the people he called family. His uncle tightened his grip on the steering wheel and said, "We can't keep feeding another moth." He said it coldly. His aunt didn't even look back. And just like that, Chinedu was left alone in the darkness. Chinedu's childhood was full of pain. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into years. But Chinedu survived by doing anything he could. By washing cars, carrying loads, and begging when he had no choice. People insulted him. Some pushed him away. Some ignored him. But one thing that never left him was the pain of being unwanted. And one fateful day Chinedu met with the man who changed everything. One afternoon, while Chinedu was working at a mechanic shop, an elderly man walked in. He watched Chinedu closely. The way he walked, the way he stayed quiet, the determination in his eyes. "What is your name?" the man asked. "Chinedu," he replied softly. "Do you go to school?" the man asked him. Chinedu shook his head and said, "No, sir." The man paused for a moment and then said something that would change Chinedu's life forever. He said to Chinedu, "Come with me." That was how Chinedu found a new beginning. That man became his guardian. He sent Chinedu to school, fed him, clothed him, but more importantly, the man believed in Chinedu. For the first time in Chinedu's life, Chinedu felt seen. After some time, Chinedu started rising. Chinedu worked harder than anyone. Chinedu works late nights, early mornings. He never gave excuses, no complaints. And years passed. The abandoned boy became a brilliant young man. He earned scholarships, traveled abroad, built connections, started businesses. He failed sometimes, and also tried again. And then, everything changed. Chinedu returned as a different man. 10 years later, a convoy of expensive cars entered the same village where Chinedu was once abandoned. People gathered in shock. "Who is that?" they whispered. Then the car door opened. A tall, confident man stepped out, dressed in a clean, expensive suit. Calm, powerful, unrecognizable. But then someone gasped and said, "Wait, isn't that Chinedu?" he asked, and it shocked the village. Word spread like fire. The same boy they ignored, the same child they abandoned, had returned rich. Then he went to confront his uncle and aunt. His uncle and aunt rushed out of their house, trembling. Their eyes were wide with disbelief. And aunt asked, "Chinedu, is that really you?" His aunt stammered. Chinedu looked at them, with no anger, no smile, just silence. And they decided to apologize to Chinedu. His uncle fell to his knees and said to Chinedu, "We made a mistake, please forgive us." Tears filled his aunt's eyes. And she said to Chinedu, "We didn't know you would become this." In that moment of truth, Chinedu took a deep breath. The memories flooded back. The rain, the hunger, the loneliness, and the pain he went through. And his words to them was, "I didn't become successful because you loved me." He said calmly to them, "I became successful because you left me." And silence filled the air. Everyone expected revenge, anger, and punishment from Chinedu. But instead, Chinedu did something no one expected. And he made his decision. "I forgive you," he said to them. Gasps filled the crowd. "But I will never forget," he said again to them. Then he turned to the villagers and said to them, "I'm building a school here," he announced. "No child should suffer the way I did." Tears filled many eyes. Sometimes the people who break you unknowingly build the person you become. The same family who threw him away showed up at his mansion begging for help. Chinedu's life had changed completely. The boy who once slept on the streets now lived in a mansion that overlooked the city, with luxury cars, business deals, and respect. But despite all the success, there was one thing money couldn't erase: his past. The quiet pain he passes through. Some nights, he still remembered the rain, the cold, the hunger, the feeling of being unwanted, and the faces of the people who left him behind. Then the knock that changed everything. One afternoon, his gatekeeper rushed inside and said to Chinedu, "Sir, there are some people outside. They say they're your family." Chinedu froze and said to the gatekeeper, "Family," he said. Chinedu hadn't heard that word in years. And he said to gatekeeper, "Let them in," he said calmly. The unexpected visitors entered. The gate opened slowly. And there they were. His uncle, his aunt, and two distant relatives. But they looked nothing like before. Their clothes were old. Their faces were tired. Life had clearly humbled them. This is the fall of those who rejected Chinedu. His uncle stepped forward. His voice was trembling. He said to Chinedu, "Chinedu, please, we need your help." Chinedu said nothing. He just watched them, carefully and silently, as they started telling their story. The uncle said to Chinedu, "We lost everything." And his aunt cried, "Our business collapsed, we have nothing left." His uncle wiped his tears. "We've been struggling, we had no one to turn to." And the moment of reflection came. Chinedu leaned back slowly. The room became quiet. This was the moment. The moment life had brought back to him. And it became power versus pain. He remembered the night they left him, the hunger, the suffering. Now, they were standing in front of him, helpless. The people who rejected him started begging for his help. His aunt suddenly knelt down. She said to Chinedu, "Please forgive us, we were wrong." His uncle followed. He said to Chinedu, "We are begging you, help us survive." And there was a moment of silence before the decision. Everyone held their breath. At this moment no one knows what Chinedu's action be like. And every eyes were like, what would he do? Would he take revenge? Would he turn them away? But his words came like this. Chinedu stood up slowly, walked toward them, then stopped, and said to them, "I waited years for this moment," he said. Their faces was filled with hope. And Chinedu continued with his words to them. He said to them, "But not for revenge." They looked confused. "I will help you," he said calmly to them. Tears of relief filled their eyes. But then he added, "Not because you deserve it, but because I choose to be different from you." Then he added condition. "I will give you a place to stay," he continued. "I will support you, but you will work. No free money. No excuses. You once said I was a burden, he said to them, looking directly at them. Now you will learn the value of struggle, he said to them. And they nodded quickly, crying, ashamed, and grateful. As they were led away, Chinedu stood quietly. Not angry, not happy, but just free. True power is not in revenge. It is in choosing who you become after the pain.